Hi, this is Cass Allen. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of Play With It. We're talking about family, and today we're talking about relationships within the family. Talking high level as always, keep it light but serious. Talking about high level relationships that involve love, like, no likey, hate, nonchalant, and warning signs. May as well start out with love. A lot of love, I think, can come innately from our parents because they protect us and nurture us. I think we love what they do for us. I think we fall in love with them for giving us life. The first things we smell are usually our parents. We smell that every day, particularly the mother. Get very used to her scent. Um, and you just create this bond, as we've discussed earlier when we talked about birth. That's hard to break, even when you fall into different stages with your mom, because sometimes you don't like her, but you love her. Then there's that type of love that's earned. I think cousins are a good classification for this category. We spend time with them, and they're more peers, so it's more like I'm treating you based on how you treat me, you know. You have kids that throw tantrums when their cousins don't give them their way, or somebody does something mean to you. You know, it's more about how you're being treated during playing, which is what you're doing the most of a lot of times. You know, even as you age, when you hang out with your cousins, a lot of times it's for dinner, a function, a reunion, something fun. Um, the secrets that you keep with your cousins, you know, you earn their love that way too, whether or not they're able to have your back and be loyal to you, you know. And we decide how we love people. Our grandparents, I think, again, we've mentioned all that already, that innate love that comes from the type of people who are around you before you even form language. You know, your bonds get tied. Then you have those people that, you know, you're not even thinking about on a love level. They're, you know, people that without a doubt you expose to everything in around you, usually on that immediate family level. Then you have the likes, you know, the people you like based on how you align with their morals, ideas, thoughts, style, you know, whatever things you have in common or that pull you toward them and decide that you want them in your life, even if it's, you know, that cousin you only want to hang out with once a month or you can't wait to see at the reunion every year, but you don't, you know, it's not an everyday thing of that nature unless it's incidental, you know, somebody you're running into as a result of maybe you both ride the same train together, but excuse me, but you're not cooking dinner together. You're not changing clothes in the same room. You know, these are just people that are in your family, but they're cool. You might not see them often because of their proximity, you know, only when they visit twice a year. Then you have the people that you know likey, as I like to say. You know, you misalign in some way that rubs you in a way that doesn't make you feel good about this person, whether it's ideas, thoughts, morals, or any particular behavior um, that just, you know, makes you not like a person. And it could be the way a person behaves at a function, you know, like I don't like being around so and so, you know, because so and so doesn't know how to act or behave or gets into fights or drinks too much, etc. Um, then we have the people that we can use a heavier word for, you know, that word is hate. Sometimes you do hate family members because they've abused you, harmed you, neglected you in some way that created some type of behavioral imbalance, or whatever the case may be. Um, It could be an uncle or an auntie who's been sexually abusive, a parent who's been physically abusive, uh, a cousin that's been mentally abusive. You know, a lot of people go through things as they're growing up, and they're not good things, and they do have a feeling of hate for people who have created situations that they may still be dealing with, excuse me, in their adulthood that they've experienced long ago, but it's created some type of seed of despair. Um, we have people that don't fall into any of these categories. Um, they fall into the nonchalant category. We can do with or without them. You know, if I see you, I see you. I don't, I don't. You're incidental. We don't really have any energy pouring between us. I see you every 6 years, so I only see you at the funerals and the weddings, and we don't have anything in common. I don't even know who you are. Every time we're in the same room, I go, "Who is that again?" If I go again, because I may not remember that I met you at all. You know, those are a lot of different types of relationships. That's six type, five type of relationships. You know, like I said, innate love and earned love versus like versus no like versus hate versus nonchalant. You know, people, family, and relationships cross across so many different portals, so many different boundaries, so many different parts of our journeys. It's going to be the same. We have relationships that don't quite fall under any of these, but they come with warning signs. Um, much like traffic signs, you know, relatives that you know to yield because something just doesn't feel right about them, you know, or stop and not get close because that person's too touchy, even though it's presented as a loving thing. Um, something that's going down a steep hill because of a logical disconnect with someone where the conversations just get derailed and you don't arrive at any um, common sense or logical milestones during your conversation. You have those relatives that stare too much, you know, and you raise the hazardous sign like, I know if I engage with you, this is going all kinds of dangerous places. You know, those who present, like I said, that's creepy. It could be a person who drinks too much and acts uncouth and then doesn't remember anything they say. Their brain cells narrow as the alcohol take over, you know. And like I said, it may not be that you like or dislike any of these people. You just know to stay away from them so that you don't have to put an emotion on them. I guess it's more like the beware list. And I've said what I'm about to say now before. Many of us think that just because we're related to someone, that means that we have to get along, we have to love each other, we have to like each other. We're all just people, regardless of how we got here, whoever fucked so that we could have the same blood, DNA, whatever, as someone else. It's because of sex. It's not because we consciously chose these relationships in our life based on deeds and acts that made us lean toward elevating people in our life to positions of, you know, the positions where the word like and love makes sense. I think as we journey through these next weeks, it's important for us all to keep in mind that our relatives are just people who are here because somebody fucked, you know, along the same bloodline as you. We'd like to believe that means, therefore, I must do anything for you. But that's how a lot of people get in trouble. That's like walking out in the street and doing favors for strangers. Just because somebody's related to you, it doesn't mean you know him or her. It's still important to take the same channels that you would take with a stranger, as you're getting to know him or her, to decide if this person has a character that you want to be in alignment with, whether or not you want to spend time with this person based on the type of person being presented to you. Not just the last name. And I get that sometimes that's just the way it is, especially when it comes to twin shit, which is a whole nother level. But many times people are hurt in relationships in their families because they've allowed their families to cross boundaries that they don't allow anybody else to cross. You many times allow family members unlimited access to emotional portals within you to go grab whatever they need without taking into account that they may actually leave a virus behind as they exit, the portal. They may leave something that'll hurt you, or they may close a door where you cannot gain anything as they strip you. No different than a stranger on the street. Don't be a sucker to your last name or your bloodline. Get to know the people in your life and have relationship with them. Ask them questions. Find out who they are as people, what their goals are spiritually, what they feel about being on this planet. So many things that you could talk to people about on a high level to get to know a little cusp of whether or not you want to practice your energy in their direction. I don't love you just because we came out of the same vagina and the same person impregnated that vagina. That's not enough reason. Show me who you are. And on that note, this has been Cass Allen on Play With It. Have a good day and have a good night.